category or governance classes, comparison of the Indian Constitution. So only I don't know. Yes, that is correct actually. But since it examines all the ministries, or that is firstly not the reason. It examines throughout the year. That's the reason, and not all. How can it examine all the ministries? That was a challenge, that the estimates committee is unable to examine all that ministries and departments. It can only do a handful of ministries and departments. So one is wrong. It examines the budget estimates only after they have been voted by the parliament. That is correct. That's also a problem, that they are examined by the estimates committee after it has been approved by the parliament. B. Two only. Okay. Second question. I'll give only 30 seconds for this. Modern day UTs. This is part C category states. Please go back to the slides, go through it. Which of the following were the sources for the UTs in the SRA and the 7th Amendment Act? It's part C. App A. Simple, easy questions today, right? Motivating questions today. Feel good factor day today. Are you clear? A is the right answer. Now, the fourth question. Its own rules. Yes, of course. The decision of CAT can be challenged only. Really? Which judgment of the Supreme Court said that the CAT and the tribunal awards can be challenged in high courts also? Tell me, which was the case? Some of you are right. BK Vibhu, Manikandan. Very good. Others? Yes, now we have correct answers. L. Chandrakumar case of 1997. In this case, Supreme Court said that the decisions of tribunals will be challenged in the High Court first, then come to Supreme Court. Three is wrong. C, only 2 is the right answer. And last question for the day. Okay. In the to also actively, I think, in India, the National Tribunals Commission takes care of administrative and infrastructural needs. What is this body? Any idea? Anyone? Have we seen this body before? Did I teach about this body in the class? Tell me. Why did I not teach about this body in the class? Because there is no such body only. How will we teach? There is no such body, right? It is assumed that maybe we may, if you want to make tribunals independent, we can have a separate body to ensure independence. There is no such body. Any random body mentioned the option and think, oh, it must be correct only. Please. Wrong. 2 is wrong. We have the answer already, but still, A is right answer. They are not bound by the code of civil procedure. They follow principles of natural justice. I hope today's getting rank 5. See your name in the leaderboard. I only see your name in the query board. Why not in the leaderboard? Why? Due to ease of administration. Then the NCT, National Capital Territory. NCT of Delhi. Okay. Then Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, and Puducherry. So here are the locations: Ladakh, J&K, Chandigarh, and NCT of Delhi. Then we have Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar, and just a small point for those who do not know that Pondicherry is not just one place but 4 different places of Pondicherry, Karaikal, Yanam, and Mahe, 4 different places spread in 3 different states. Are we clear of this point? That Pondicherry is not just one place. The UT of Pondicherry comprises of 4 different places. Okay, great. Now the very first point that should come in your mind, we are now going to study UTs, which is under part 8 of the Indian Constitution, part 8. So the first thing that should come in your mind is, why the hell do we have UTs? Right? Why is the center controlling these areas? Why do we have certain areas which are directly controlled by the center? See, this concept of a union territory, understand the word itself, break the word, union territory, a territory controlled by the union. This concept of union territory comes from various countries, and there are 2 reasons, factors. Point number 1, the special care and the protection of tribal people. So in the country, there could be certain areas where there are indigenous people, and the center needs to protect those areas, preserve their culture. That is why the center directly controls those areas. Second, sometimes those areas can have a lack of financial viability. Lack of financial viability, right? Okay. Why do we have UTs in our country? In India specifically. So what can be a reason in our country to have a UT? So in our country, there are various reasons. For example, of course, one area is a UT because it is a national capital. NCT of Delhi. Okay. Second, sometimes certain areas also have a territorial dispute problem. 2 states are fighting, and the center says, nobody, it belongs to me. Chandigarh. Then there are certain areas, because of their location, they are of strategic interest. So center needs to ensure effective control over those areas. For example, Andaman Nicobar. For example, Lakshadweep. For example, Jammu and Kashmir. Then there are certain areas which have a distinct culture, a unique culture, tribals, etc. Distinct culture, like Dadra and Nagar Haveli, like Ladakh, like Puducherry. You can also include Andaman Nicobar here, Lakshadweep here, right? So these are reasons why we have UTs in our country. Look at Pondicherry, for example. Pondicherry was under French control. That's why these 4 areas under French control. Now imagine this was under French control. People there have a different way of life for over 200 years. And if you let that area, say Yanam or Mahe, Karaikal, etc., be a part of the state only, then the state's culture would overtake the local culture, the distinct culture of these areas. So we want to exercise central control so that they can be protected. Okay. Strategic interest means the location of these areas are of national importance, right? They should not be misused to create any kind of security threat to the country. That is what is strategic interest. Clear? Delhi NCR also under UT. Lakshmi, I have mentioned NCT of Delhi. Okay. For the innocent people here, let me tell you NCR and NCT difference shortly. Okay. We'll come to that. Don't worry. We are clear so far. Why do we have UTs? This is why we have UTs. Now, Article 239 for UTs. It says, save as otherwise provided by the Parliament by law, every UT shall be administered by the President. UT is administered by the President. But of course, President, do you think he'll personally manage these UTs? Right? Of course not. And what does the President do? The President will appoint a person called administrator. So basically, the President appoints through an administrator, meaning the government appoints an administrator with such designation, name, whatever name is not important. That person is an administrator who is now appointed by the center to manage the UT on behalf of the center. Are we clear? Name can be anything. So this administrator is actually called administrator in various UTs. And in some UTs, he is called LG. Lieutenant Governor. Now, please quickly type in one statement only. Don't write multiple messages. In one statement only, which UT's administrator is called LG. Quickly, don't waste time. Hear the instruction. Hear my instruction. In one statement only, please write all the UTs where the head is called LG. So only Delhi? Instruction not clear. Only few of you have clarity of instruction. It's like, whatever you ask, sir, I will answer what I know. So, LG in UTs of Delhi, UT of J&K, UT of Ladakh, UT of Pondicherry, and UT of Andaman and Nicobar. In these three UTs, in these 5 UTs, we call these people as LGs. And in other 3, they are called administrators. Clear? Like Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. It is just a nomenclature. Don't read too much into it. Okay? As we said here, you are appointing a person called administrator with whatever designation. You can call him administrator only, you can call him LG also. It does not really matter. Did we understand this point, or is it too complicated to understand? Okay, great. So first point is clear, but LG's full form is Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor. Okay. So lieutenant, that's the pronunciation. Now, please don't ask me, sir, why are you writing lieutenant and calling it lieutenant? Because English is a funny language, in the words of Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. Now, a very important point. Have we, Mayank Vidwani, sir, can we say that all eastern UTs have LGs? Arey, nahi, sir. No east-west, sir. No. Pavitra, why those UTs under LG? Pavitra, you are back again after a weekend here. Madam, it is just a nomenclature. You could call them something else also. Does not really matter. Administrator to be appointed by him with such designation as he may specify. You can call them anything. We are calling them LG. Don't be angry, it's okay. It's just a name. What's in a name? Right? Okay. Have we seen this article before? Enough of your questions. Now my question. Have we seen this article before? Which topic? Give me the exact subtopic. We were discussing the governor's explicit powers, and we had mentioned, I'll give you an example and you'll remember it. The governor of Punjab, while he's managing the state of Punjab, he's bound by the advice of Council of Ministers of Punjab. But if the governor of Punjab is given the additional function to also become the administrator of the UT of Chandigarh, he acts independently. Banwari Lal Purohit. Do you remember this point now? Notwithstanding anything contained in part 6. Firstly, what is the meaning of notwithstanding? Notwithstanding means in spite of. Okay? In spite of whatever is mentioned in part 6. What is part 6? Tell me, innocent people here, what is part 6? What happened? Okay. Few people are answering now. The states under part 6. Okay. So, in spite of anything mentioned in part 6, the president may appoint the governor of a state as the administrator of a neighboring UT. Right? And where a governor is so appointed, he shall exercise his functions as such administrator independently of his council of ministers. This is the explicitly mentioned discretionary power of governor. Discretion of governor. We have already discussed this point under the chapter governor. Once upon a time, long time ago, when we were discussing governors. Now, 3 UTs have legislatures. Jammu and Kashmir, as per the provisions of this law and this law. Pondicherry. Now, mind you, Pondicherry has a UT, has a legislature where there are 33 members. Okay. 33 MLAs. Out of which 30 are elected and 3 are nominated by center. Very interesting. In no other state legislature will you find this kind of nomination by center. Nowhere else. But in Pondicherry. So it's 33. Before somebody says it's looking like 38, 33. Okay. JNK will discuss shortly. JNK, how it was, how it happened, and why we have UT there and all later on. Now NCT of Delhi. So as far as NCT of Delhi is concerned, we have a proper provision in the constitution, also an article called GNCTD. GNCTD Act. Government of NCT, National Capital Territory of Delhi Act. Now, let's discuss the point here, the cause of concern, Delhi. And first things first, this trouble that some of you may have, what is NCR, what is Delhi? Think of this. This is NCR, and within NCR, a small area is called Delhi. This is NCR, and this is NCT. Difference. So what is NCT? NCT is the actual Delhi, the UT. The surrounding areas of Delhi, which are also in other states, like say Faridabad, Gurgaon, Ghaziabad, Noida, Alwar. So states like Haryana, some parts of Haryana, some parts of UP, small parts of Rajasthan. These collectively comprise to form the National Capital Region. So it is not the national capital, but the region around the national capital. So NCR includes NCT plus other parts, parts of other states also. But when you say NCT, it means the UT of Delhi. Did we understand this point, everybody? Or do I need to explain? Will there be an issue in future on this? No, right? Okay. So I hope now you will know what are we referring to when we say what is NCT. So please always refer to NCT when you talk about the UT of Delhi. Now some very important points. I will underline these points because they are important. Delhi has a 70-seat assembly. This is not important. It's okay. 70-seat assembly. But please tell me, you all belong to various states. The CM of your state is officially appointed by which person? Tell me. The CM of every state is appointed by the governor only. But look at the CM of Delhi. Appointed by the president. Observation number 1. Number 2. In your state, what is the upper limit of ministers? Tell me. What is the upper limit, maximum number of ministers that can be there? How much is that? 15% through the 91st Amendment Act 2003. But in Delhi, it's 10%. Okay, point number 2. Now, your state assembly, whichever state you belong to, whether it is Tamil Nadu or Haryana or Nagaland, whatever, your state assembly is allowed to make laws on all the topics in the state list. Yes or no? All topics. Who controls state police in your state? Tell me. Center or state government? State government. Your chief minister. But the Assembly of Delhi can also make laws on all matters in the state list except public order, police, and land. These 3 topics, the state legislature of Delhi is not allowed to make laws. Public order is entry number 1. police is entry number 2, and land is entry number 18. These are all entries in the state list. Are we clear, everyone? All okay so far? Now, very important. In your respective states, the delimitation exercise is done by which body? Tell me. Which body? The Delimitation Commission. Yes or no? The Delimitation Commission, which comprises of the retired Supreme Court judge, Chief Election Commissioner, SEC, blah blah. Okay. And the same Delimitation Commission also decides on which seats are to be reserved for scheduled castes and which for scheduled tribes. Yes or no? Not in Delhi. Parliament by law. What is by law? Simple majority. Parliament with a simple majority will decide number of seats in the assembly, not the Delimitation Commission, including SC reservation. And Parliament by law will decide on the division of NCT into territorial constituencies. Are we clear? And Parliament by law will regulate the other matters of functioning of the assembly. And very, very important, do you remember that when the center wants to make laws on state list subject, is it possible? Tell me. Have we seen any provision which makes it possible for the center to make laws on state list subjects? Remember? We have seen an article. Don't say no, please. Don't disappoint me like this. We have seen an article. Article 249. When the Rajya Sabha gives the permission, then the parliament can make laws on state list subject. Yes or no? But in case of Delhi, no such permission is required. Parliament is competent to make laws over all matters in the state and concurrent list in relationship to the National Capital Territory of Delhi. I'll repeat once again. For other states, some kind of condition will be there to make laws on state list subject. But for Delhi, there is no condition. Parliament has comprehensive power to make laws on any topic in the state list. For Delhi. Did we understand that point? Everyone? So, see, Delhi is not a state. Please stop treating Delhi as a state. So that is why don't be angry at why is this there? Where is the federalism? Delhi is a UT. So of course, center needs to exercise some control here. That's the reason. Now, all these are very nice, but in Delhi we have a boss, the administrator of Delhi. What is that person called? Who is the administrator of Delhi? LG. LG. LG versus CM. Now, let's read the article 239 AA clause 4 and we'll see as to what is the exact problem. Why are these people fighting? There shall be a council of ministers consisting of not more than 10% of the total number of members in the assembly with the CM at the head to aid and advise the Lieutenant Governor in the exercise of his functions in relation to matters with respect to which the assembly has the power to make laws. Assembly has power to make laws on which matters? Which topics does the assembly have the power to make laws on? State list. But minus 3 topics. Tell me quickly which entries? Minus public order, minus police, and minus land. Very good. Excellent. 1 to 18. 1 to 18. Now, the article further says, except insofar as he is by or under any law required to act in his discretion. This means LG has also been given some discretionary power. Strange, right? Discretionary power for LG. Okay. Now let's see where this issue came up from. How did this issue become important? This issue became important because of one proviso, the provision in the same article. The article continues, and this is mentioned in the article. I'll explain first. So what is the point here? Let's take an example. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal tells the governor, the LG, Lieutenant Governor, that, sir, I think we need to order cashew nuts for all government staff to have some snacks while they are working in the office. Cashew nuts. LG says, no. Cashew nuts can increase the cholesterol level. Walnuts are important. Walnuts should be ordered. CM says cashews. LG says walnuts. Conflict. Now, my point is very simple. If there is any conflict between the LG and the CM, LG is like governor only, right? If the same thing happened in your state, that the CM says, sir, we want cashew nuts, and your governor said, no, walnuts, then what would the governor have to do? Tell me. If the same issue happened in your state, CM is the boss. Advice must be followed. Eat cashew nuts. Clear? But this article is framed differently. Here what will happen is, if there is any conflict, dispute, difference of opinion between LG and the CM, the LG will say, wait. The big boss, the president will decide. President mean the central government will decide. And it is sent to the central government, the president, that ma'am, you decide. Now the president is not sitting free, that she will decide immediately. It may take her some time. She will tell the CM and the LG, send me sample of cashew nut and walnuts. I'll test it. She eats cashew nuts for a few days. She eats walnuts for a few days. Some time is wasted in taking a decision. Decisions cannot happen overnight, right? In this duration, while the president is deciding on what to do, the LG, if he thinks it's very, very urgent, he can decide on his own. So LG can say, the president is waiting, is still deciding. You, Mr. Kejriwal, please order cashew nut, walnuts quickly. Are we clear? Everybody? If there is any difference of opinion between the LG and the CM, LG will reserve the matter for the president. But in this duration, while the president is deciding on that matter, the LG can act independently on that matter. Let's read that. Provided that in the case of difference of opinion between the LG and his ministers on any matter, the LG shall refer it to the president for decision. Very good. LG shall refer it to the president for decision and shall act according to the decision given by the president. No problem. And pending such decision, it shall be competent for the LG in any case where the matter, in his opinion, is so urgent that it is necessary for him to take immediate action, to take such action. LG can take such action or give such direction in the matter as he deems necessary. Are we clear, everybody? Now tell me, if you are the LG, you will have a problem on everything. The CM says, sir, I want to install green curtains in my bungalow. LG says, no, 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 pink curtains. This difference of opinion. CM says, sir, please appoint ABC in that post. LG says, no, 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 appoint PQR on the post. But if I have to raise a problem only, then I will have a difference of opinion on everything. And then I will send the matter to the president. What is president? Central government. And in the meantime, I can act independently. If you read this article, tell me, who is the boss? Who is the boss? LG versus CM. Of course, LG. This matter went to court. In 2015, LG Najib Jung was made the LG. And of course, as his name was Najib Jung, he stood true to his name and literally had a jung with Arvind Kejriwal and everything. Delhi High Court, which is known to give good judgments, faltered in this case. And the problem is very clear. Delhi High Court said that, sorry, LG is a real boss. Now, please tell me, if you make LG the real boss, who heads an elected government in Delhi? Who have people voted for? The chief minister. The CM is responsible towards the people. LG is an appointed authority. What is his responsibility? Zero. Nobody cares. But you have given all the power to the LG. This means a very classic situation. And what is that? LG is a person who has all the authority, but without any accountability. This fellow has no accountability, no responsibility. He is not elected by the people. But look at the chief minister. Now he has all the accountability. But without any authority. Because ultimately, it's the LG who reigns supreme. We call this problem as authority accountability mismatch. Basically, what happens is, and think of it, whoever holds real power should also be the person who should be accountable to people, right? And who is actually accountable to people should be given the real power. Makes sense, right? Did we understand this idea of accountability authority mismatch? That if I have the authority and I'm not accountable to anyone, and then there is somebody who is responsible for everything and he has no real power, how will he function? Today, people can come to Mr. Kejriwal and say, Mr. Kejriwal, you had made all these false promises. What is happening now? I mean, all these promises, what is happening now? And he can say, sorry, I can do nothing because LG is a real boss. How will this work in a parliamentary system? It makes no sense, right? Anyway, this matter went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court rectified this problem. Supreme Court interpreted the constitution and said that, see, please understand, we are functioning in a parliamentary setup. In the parliamentary setup, the head of government is a real head. Are we clear? The head of government is the real head. So, the executive head of state is the chief minister. And LG, extremely sorry, but you have to be bound by the advice of Council of Ministers. LG, so sorry. We are functioning in a parliamentary setup. Would you agree with Supreme Court's judgment? Tell me. Of course, in a parliamentary setup, that is appropriate. That whoever is the head of government should, of course, be given the ultimate authority. And it was also instructed to LG that LG, this difference of opinion drama, please, LG should reserve a matter for consideration of the president in only exceptional situations. Don't reserve in everything where there is a genuine disagreement. And here also, disagreement should be mentioned in writing, written reasons. What is the disagreement? What is the disagreement? You please tell us. Right? Now, Delhi government does not require LG's consent to implement its decision, even though it has to keep him informed. Just like in every state, the CM should inform the government, the governor, right? Remember, duty of the PM and CM to furnish information to the president and the governor. Same thing. Clear? Exact same thing was done. So this largely settled the problem because see, Delhi may be a UT, but since you have given the people of Delhi an elected government, you are creating a system of a parliamentary form there. So it is very appropriate that the people who are elected should have the real power. As far as discretion is concerned, LG has discretion under topic number 1, topic number 2, topic number 18 of the state list. But on other topics, if you give LG the power, then what is the point of having a chief minister? Did you understand this point? Everybody. So it is actually appropriate as judgment, right? Delhi is a very densely populated area. So we need to have certain provisions for Delhi, giving the people of Delhi a responsible government. It's very, very important. And that is what has been done. And when you are giving to people a responsible government, give that government the real power. Right? Okay. So this problem was resolved, and then comes central government. Central government says, wait. Problem solved? Okay. No problem. We are here. And central government modified this law, the Government of NCT of Delhi Act, in 2021. Now, central government has such noble intentions. It said, see, enough of fighting. We want to promote harmony between the legislature and the executive, and we also want to give effect to the Supreme Court's interpretation here. Supreme Court has interpreted that LG should follow the advice of Council of Ministers. I think we should modify the law and incorporate that. Clear? Such noble intention of the central government. And we always keep on questioning central government that, see, you are harassing the states and all, right? Look at the statements. To promote harmony, to give effect to Supreme Court interpretation. Such nice gestures by the center. So let us see what the center did. Now, point number 1. But before that, tell me, because of Supreme Court judgment, who is the boss of Delhi? Who is the boss of Delhi? CM. Okay. So if I say that government of Delhi, if I use the term government of Delhi, what would it mean? CM or LG? If I use the term government of Delhi, in your state also, if you use the term government, what does it mean? CM or governor? CM only. And here Supreme Court has tried to create a situation where the Chief Minister of Delhi has been given almost the same position as what? The CM in other states. Okay. Megha is asking CM means what? Amazing. Chief Minister, madam, Chief Minister. Now let's look at the changes made. Such nice, noble gesture of central government. Look at the changes. Point number 1. The term government referred to in any law made by the assembly will imply LG. Government means LG. But Supreme Court had said that the real boss is the chief minister. What is this? I'm not sure how it is giving effect to the Supreme Court judgment. You are saying government means LG. Tomorrow Indian government means Indian president. Strange. Then, rules to regulate the procedure and the conduct of business in the assembly. So every assembly has its own rules, like Lok Sabha rules, Raj Sabha rules. So the rules of Delhi assembly must be consistent with the rules of Lok Sabha. So Delhi assembly, whatever rules you are following in the house, they should be in compliance with Lok Sabha rules. Okay, fair enough, no problem. Then, now please tell me one more thing. What is the task of parliament in this setup of a parliamentary form of government? Apart from passing laws, what is a very important work of the parliament? To hold the executive accountable. Yes or no? Yes or no? Keeping a check on the executive, asking questions. And that's a task of every legislature, to question the government. Let's read. This act now prohibits the assembly from making any rule to enable itself or its committees to consider the matters of day-to-day administration of Delhi and to conduct any inquiry in relation to administrative decision. Meaning, the assembly of Delhi cannot question Delhi government. And who is Delhi government? LG. So assembly of Delhi cannot question Delhi government. Then why do we have the assembly? Tomorrow if a law is made that parliament cannot question the government, will you be okay with the law? That law makes no sense. If you say that the parliament cannot question the government, then we'll say then remove the parliament. Why to waste money conducting elections? And now one more thing. Please read. Supreme Court said Delhi government does not require LG's consent to implement its decisions. Supreme Court's judgment is that Delhi government does not require LG's consent to implement its decision. Let's read. On certain matters, as decided by LG only, his opinion must be obtained. But Supreme Court had said that the opinion of LG is not required. And on what matters? On certain matters. Who decides? LG decides. And any time frame? To give opinion? No time frame. Nothing. Before taking any executive action on decisions of the minister, then how are you trying to justify Supreme Court's order? Supreme Court has said that LG, your decision is not required, or your permission or consent is not required for the CM to take any action. But here the government said that wait. On certain matters, the permission of LG is required. So look at this. To give effect to the Supreme Court's interpretation. How is it giving effect to Supreme Court's interpretation? It is like the central government thought, what has Supreme Court said? This, reverse it, place it. They have reversed everything and done exactly those things that were exactly opposite to what Supreme Court had said. Yes or no? Do we all agree now? Everything so far all okay? No confusion? Okay. Lastly, I think this is something that has come from the states only. There are certain kind of bills, if you remember, where state has to take the center's permission, right? The act requires the LG to reserve certain bills passed by the assembly for the consideration of the president, which may diminish the power of high court, which the president may direct, dealing with salary and allowances of the ministers, etc. of Delhi. So now Delhi Assembly cannot increase the salary of its MLAs or ministers without the center's permission. Are we clear? Delhi Assembly cannot increase the salary of its own ministers or the MLAs without center's permission. So these are the provisions. Now, of course, this matter has been challenged. The case has been pending in the court. Nothing has been done so far. Clear? The act continues to be correct. Just to show you this, Parliament is competent to make laws on all matters in the state and concurrent list. Parliament makes a law that is justified. Now the case has to be filed in Supreme Court. It is pending in the court, and Supreme Court has to again cancel it, and again there'll be a conflict. Are we clear, everybody? So far, all okay? So this is the case. Very interesting. I mean, the idea behind an assembly is to give people a responsible government. And if you really want to have a responsible government, then the best thing should have been that let the CM be the boss there. Now, let me also tell you frankly, this issue was a non-issue till 2014-15, right? But when it comes to uh, Arvind Kejriwal coming to power, see, yes, Arvind Kejriwal is not that, I mean, when it comes to Arvind Kejriwal, he also loves to play politics and stuff. But you have to also understand that he was chosen by the people of Delhi. And for the first time, BJP did win 30 plus seats. But later on, BJP received a thrashing at the hands of Aam Aadmi Party. 60 plus seats out of 70, right? 90% seats are coming to Aam Aadmi Party. I think that is where the BJP did not accept the loss. This is what it seems actually. It's okay. You take it on your chin if you lose the election. No problem. Don't create all these provisions. Or if you are so unhappy, remove the assembly only. Directly control it. You can't manage it because Delhi is densely populated. Center does not have the manpower to manage a place like Delhi. Delhi is extremely densely populated, right? You have to give people a government. It'd be very difficult otherwise. So you need to have a government, but you want the ultimate control with yourself. That's a problem. Now, in the meantime, there was also a discussion going on or a court case going on that who should control the officers in Delhi. Now tell me, in your state government, who controls the officers? State Public Service Commission officers who are appointed. If you are an IAS officer also, IPS officer also, DSP, etc., posted in the state, who controls you? Center or states? State government. In fact, the chief minister has made all these promises and has come to power to achieve some objectives. How will he achieve those objectives? Through a bureaucracy, which he controls. The issue was who will control officers in Delhi. So Supreme Court had given a judgment earlier where there was a split verdict. One judge said central will control. Second judge said state will control. So the matter had gone to a 3-judge bench. The judgment came this year only. This year. Just before Supreme Court went on vacation, a judgment came. And the judgment was, who will control the services and civil servants in Delhi? That is entry 41 of state list. This is with respect to the State Public Service Commission and the officers working in Delhi. So Supreme Court said, control over the services and the civil servants in the National Capital Territory of Delhi lies with Delhi government. Yes or no? Do you agree with this? Meaning the power to appoint and transfer officers lies with the Delhi government. Delhi. Okay. Now, union's power is only limited to 3 topics. That is public order, police, and land. Now, Delhi government's power is only limited in 3 areas. That is public order, police, and land. And LG will exercise his discretion only on these 3 matters, not every matter. Are you clear on this? See, Delhi Assembly cannot control only 3 topics: land, public order, and police. And Supreme Court said that only these 3 topics are outside the Delhi's control. So LG should exercise his discretion on these 3 topics only. That's it. And again, advantage Arvind Kejriwal. The matter went to him that, okay, sir, you enjoy. This is your time of fun. Great. He's so happy. And then the court went to vacation. On the day the court went to vacation, on that very day, the parliament modified this law again and issued an ordinance which has now become an act. This is actually a small error here. This is NCTD. NCTD. They brought an ordinance which has now become a law. Look at this. Look at the change. Notwithstanding, in spite of anything contained in any judgment, any order, any court's conclusion, we don't care. Assembly of Delhi will have no power over entry 41. Look at how sweetly the government has made a change. That the Assembly of Delhi will have no power over entry 41. Exactly opposite to Supreme Court's judgment. Are we clear? And the LG shall act in his sole discretion in a matter which falls outside the purview of the powers conferred on the assembly, but where the president gives him the task. If the president asks LG, then LG can act in his sole discretion. No need to ask anybody. Meaning, now entry 41 will be controlled by the LG on his own sole discretion. No advice from the council. And central government will make rules to provide for matters in connection with the service condition of all the officers who are working in Delhi. Now, center said, see, to control the service conditions of the officers, their appointment, their transfer, their training, all these things, let's do one thing. Let's create a separate body only. We'll call that body the National Capital Civil Service Authority. Again, such a nice gesture now that there will be a body which will look into all these matters. So, National Capital Civil Service Authority. It will have CM as the member and he's a chairperson, Chief Secretary of Delhi as a member, and the Principal Home Secretary of Delhi. These three people are members. And all matters to be decided by majority voting here. Now, what is the function of this NCCSA? Recommendation of transfers, postings, vigilance, training, etc. for Group A and DANIX to LG. Are we clear so far? Now, just bear with me. Chief Secretary, an IS officer. Who controls the service condition of IS officer? LG. Center. Home Secretary, IS officer. Who controls the... I'll come to these points, guys. Just be with me here for now. Don't worry. Don't worry. Who controls the service of DANIX? Guys, I'll explain DANIX. Focus on what I'm explaining right now. Don't worry. I'll come to what is DANIX. I won't keep things secret from you. Okay? Just focus here. Who controls the service condition of the Home Secretary? IS officer. Center. Now, please tell me, if these two people know that they are controlled by center, then all matters to be decided a majority vote. What's the point of CM here? And let me tell you, the quorum of the meeting is 2. So if 2 people come, the meeting will continue. And when these 2 people come together, they will take any decision, whether the CM likes it or not. Now, did you understand that the CM has been made a member of this particular NCCSA, but has no power? Are we clear on this? Everybody? Now, if this commission or this authority makes any recommendation, the LG can return the recommendation. And in case of disputes, LG's decision shall be final. One more check. What if these 2 people don't follow the central government? Again, there's a check. LG is still the final boss. So despite all this, the final boss is LG. Okay? Now, as far as DANIX is concerned, DANIX refers to the Delhi and Andaman Nicobar civil services. DANIX. That is a meaning of DANIX. Are we clear? Everyone. Those who wanted to know what is DANIX. The civil servants working in Delhi and Andaman Nicobar. DANIX. Now, this is the current situation. Very important. Again, before this judgment was passed, or this bill was passed, it was brought as an ordinance. And Arvind Kejriwal was trying to convince all the opposition parties to support him against this bill. Now the bill has been passed. Again, the same story. Parliament is the competent authority to make laws over all matters in the state and the concurrent list. So Parliament has made a law, and now this law remains, and this is the current situation. Are we clear, everybody? Arey sir, see, forget the full form. Danix refers to Delhi, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli services. Okay, so we cannot have a proper full form for that. It is called Danix, but it covers all these areas: Delhi, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. Now you place them and find out what means what. Clear? What is Group A? Sir, you are preparing for Group A job only. There are 4 categories of services: A, B, C, D. More on this in your governance classes. Group A means gazetted officers, topmost people in the country: IAS, IPS, IRS, etc. Group D means the lowest level. Okay. Clear, everyone? This was a concern for Delhi. We are done with that. Yes, Godavari, Pondicherry has power, full power on everything. So what's the issue? See, issue number 1 is the same old issue that we have been discussing again and again. The accountability and the authority mismatch. That's the issue. Now, a very interesting point. Now, please tell me, who should control the civil services? The CM, right? CM. Why? Because CM is accountable to the people. So what we say is that the civil servant is responsible to the ministers, who is in turn responsible to the people. So civil servant is accountable to the minister, who is accountable to the legislature and the people. But now what you have done is you are saying no, civil servant is accountable to the LG. That's what you have done. You are cancelling this, and now you are saying that civil servant is accountable to LG. But LG is not accountable to people. You have broken the chain of accountability. So we call this the triple chain of accountability. Triple chain of accountability has been broken. You have given control of the civil servant to that person who has no authority. And think of it, LG has not been given any time frame to decide. No time frame for LG to decide, which will only cause delay in decision making. Yes or no? These are the problems. So this is the current situation. Let's see, this matter is still pending in the court. And let's see what happens. What does Supreme Court have to say about this? And when the Supreme Court judgment comes, and then we'll see again. Parliament will make some more law. Again, it will be challenged. Again, Supreme Court will make a law. And in all this, the innocent aspirant has to keep a track of everything. So sadly, you will be the one suffering the most when it comes to these kind of issues. That's it. We are done with our UTs, the focus on Delhi. Please remember till this point, it's all important, and keep yourself updated with any changes made. Just keep on adding information. Okay. Now coming to Article 370. Article 370, temporary provisions with respect to Jammu and Kashmir. Now, what is this temporary provision? So, the point is very clear. You'll be studying about this in detail in your IR classes, post-independence classes. But nevertheless, I'll give you a quick brief on what exactly has been happening so far or had happened in the 1940s. So very quickly, details in your future classes, in your IR or post-independence. So what happened was, 1940s, independence granted, all these princely states are joining the country. So princely states were being asked, come on, sign a merger document. So there are two things. One was called Instrument of Accession, where you have to submit yourself to India. Three things: defense, foreign policy or external affairs, and communication. These three things had to be submitted to what? India. Apart from this, these princely states were also signing a merger document, and they merged with India. Now comes a real catch here. So when they merged with India, they fully and completely became a part of India. Jammu and Kashmir, it was not willing to join either India or Pakistan. And the king there, Hari Singh, he was thinking what to do, what not to do. Now we cannot get inside the brain of Hari Singh now. So based on the allegations or based on some experts' opinions, it is suggested that Hari Singh was thinking of becoming independent only. Anyway, Pakistan's patience ran out. Pakistan sent its forces inside Jammu and Kashmir, attacked Hari Singh. The idea was that the tribals have attacked, but they attacked. Hari Singh immediately came to India and said, India, help me. What is this nonsense Pakistan is doing? We said, okay, no problem. And we sent our forces. And Hari Singh said, okay, I am signing the instrument of accession with you. I am willing to give up all these three things. Let's discuss further. In the meantime, please save me. India said, no problem, and sent its forces. So Pakistan and its forces had come till this point. They were entering the Srinagar Valley, etc. Indian forces came from here. Indian forces started pushing them back. In the meantime, they were being pushed back now. In the meantime, Lord Mountbatten, Nehru's very close friend, he told Nehru, Nehru, what are you doing? You are a world leader. Remember, we have made a body like this. Nehru said, which body? UNO. And remember, we dragged you there and made you a founding member. Nehru said, yes, 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 I remember. Even though we were not independent, you made us a founding member. Yes, yes, yes. Right, right. Go to UN. Complain to UN. Imagine you go to UN and get the UN to interfere. resolution through arbitration, discussion, mediation, no fighting, world leader, true stature, true statesman. Then he said, okay. And he goes there. UN was sitting idle only, doing nothing except one Israel issue and couple of other issues. They're thinking how to disturb peace and interfere in these newly independent countries. It said, wait, very good. Now UN interfered. The first thing UN said, wait, stop fighting, ceasefire. Ceasefire was declared. Ceasefire, think of it as saying statue, remain there only. So this line became the ceasefire line. Stay, control, don't fight, stop fight. Now, then UN said, let's do one thing. Let's ask people of Kashmir only. What do you want, India or Pakistan? Plebiscite. What is plebiscite? Plebiscite is when you ask people to vote and choose, right? So voting has to be conducted and let the people decide whether they want to join you or they want to join Pakistan. Okay, fair enough. Plebiscite. Two conditions. Number one, Pakistan, you move out. UN is saying Pakistan move out. And number two, India, you please remain or keep only limited forces and give back the control to Hari Singh, Maharaja Hari Singh, and let there be a proper voting. India said, okay, no problem. Pakistan, move out. Come on, move out. Pakistan said, wait. Why should we move out? You firstly move out. India said, but the first condition is Pakistan move out. Second is we'll hand over the administration back to Hari Singh. Pakistan said, no. What is number one, number two? First condition is India, you move out. Neither did India move out, or nor Pakistan moved out. Hence, no voting, no plebiscite. And the situation remained as it is. Are we clear? And we struck a deal with Hari Singh based on whatever area was under his control. So this is what is called Azad Kashmir, this part, right? Gilgit Baltistan, this part. Together it is called POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. This is Aksai Chin, line of actual control. And this is Sakshgam Valley. This part has been given by Pakistan to China on its own. Now this is under Chinese control. This is the Jammu and Kashmir that we actually control. Clear? Okay. In some maps, you will see that the Indian map shows only till this much. They are shown under Pakistan's control. This is all our land. Let me clarify. Okay? It has been illegally occupied by Pakistan. And this also, same story. Now see, when this was happening in 1940s, 1948 to be exact, then after all the discussions, the Constituent Assembly, which was making a constitution, said, okay, let's treat Kashmir differently. Let us give Kashmir their separate constitution within the Indian constitution. So a separate proposal was brought called Draft Article 306A, which became Article 370. That was prepared by the Diwan Bahadur N. Gopala Swami Iyengar, who was also the PM of Jammu and Kashmir from 1937 to 43. Anyway, when this special treatment was given to Jammu and Kashmir, other princely states are very unhappy. What is this? We have joined India without any condition. Now you are giving special treatment to Jammu and Kashmir. Nevertheless, in 1951, Jammu and Kashmir had for itself a separate constituent assembly, which created their own constitution, and Jammu and Kashmir had a separate constitution for itself. Now, this was Article 370, which was there till 2019. My question to all of you is, do we still have Article 370? A for yes, B for no. Let's see how much news you follow. Do we still have Article 370? A for yes, B for no. what do we have right now? So this was Article 370 till 2019. Look at one clause here. The provisions of Article 1 and Article 370 of the Indian Constitution shall apply to Jammu and Kashmir. The entire Indian Constitution was not applicable on Jammu and Kashmir. Only two articles were applicable. Article 1, which says India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. This makes Jammu and Kashmir an integral part of India. Integral part of India. Secondly, Article 370 was applicable. But if we wanted to apply other provisions of our constitution on Jammu and Kashmir, it was very easy. Other articles can be made applicable if the president issues an order. That is called a presidential order or a constitutional order. But there is a small condition. What is the condition? The condition is that you need the concurrence. What is concurrence? Approval, binding, concurrence of the state government. Without state government's approval, Indian Constitution's provisions could not be made applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. Don't worry, till 2019, 47 such orders were passed and almost 2/3 of Indian Constitution was actually made applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. It was there. Most of it was applicable. Now, one very, very critical question. Please tell me, think and then tell me, what is your opinion? When it comes to, say, a state like Maharashtra, does the center need permission of Maharashtra government to make laws on union list subjects? Tell me. In any circumstance, does the center need permission to make laws on union list subjects under any circumstance? No. Under no circumstance is the center required to take your permission. Exclusive power on union list, right? Including concurrent list. But that was not the case for Jammu and Kashmir. For Jammu and Kashmir, Parliament can make laws on matters of union list and the concurrent list. Of course it can, but you have to consult the state government on those topics which are related to defense, external affairs, or communication, because these three topics have been given to the given to India by Hari Singh. So on these type of topics, then just consult them, not binding, consult. But on all other topics, concurrence of the state government. Can you see these phrases? Here you are saying consultation, still okay, but concurrence. Meaning the center could not make laws on most of the union list topics also for Jammu and Kashmir without the government's approval. Such was the autonomy given to Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370, that the center could not make laws on most topics in the union and concurrent list. Do we understand this now? Everybody, are we okay? Is there any confusion? Now, some of you may say, sir, this is too much of autonomy. Haji Bhagya, what's your concern? Tell me. So, this is too much of autonomy. Like, you are now getting the permission of a state on topic. Consultation means just to consult, not binding. Guys, consultation is always just consultation. Only in one case, only in one case, the collegium judgment consultation means binding. Please, that word, Supreme Court has no right to change the meaning of a word in the dictionary. It can only change the meaning of a word for a particular case. Consultation is always not binding. Anyway, government of the state, the elected government of the state. Now, some of you may say, sir, but this is very weird. A part of our country under central control, a part of India, and here you are saying that you need the permission to make laws on union list, to make laws on citizenship, right? Now, if you wanted to change all this, let's say I want to change all this, remove all these provisions, what to do? Is it possible? Yes, it was possible. Modification in Article 370 was possible. The same Article 370 has a clause 3 which mentions how to modify. What to do? Notwithstanding, in spite of anything in the above, foregoing above provisions, the President can, by public notification, declare that this article shall cease to operate. This article will not work or shall only operate with exceptions and modifications. This Article 370, all this drama could be changed very easily by the President. Now you would say, so why did we not change it till 2019? A small condition is required. Provided that the recommendation of Constituent Assembly of the state is required before you make any change. Let me just remind you, I am referring to Constituent Assembly, not the state government or state assembly. What is this Constituent Assembly? This is the same body which was formed in 1951 and was dissolved in 1957 after creating a separate constitution for Jammu and Kashmir. That body's permission is required. But members of that body will not be alive now. How to get their permission? They must have all passed away. It's very weird if they give permission now. Don't you think? Dead people coming and giving permission will be slightly weird. Yes or no? Now my point is, then how have we changed the article? Something has happened to Article 370. Yes or no? Something has happened. How? How did the government get the permission of these people who are not there only? Did we use some Ouija board to call these people? Did he perform some kind of ceremony to get their people? So what happened was, for that I need to explain a proper point. Now, have you observed? So remember, we discussed about Anglo-Indians a few weeks back. Anglo-Indian, and somebody asked, sir, what is Anglo-Indian? I said that if you want to know what is an Anglo-Indian, you please refer to Article 366, which talks about definitions. Similarly, if there is any confusion on the meaning of a word, let's say financial year. Somebody says, sir, financial year. What is financial year? You say financial year is from April to March. Why? Who told you? You'll say, sir, you only told us. It's very good that you believe in me. Great. But these words should be mentioned somewhere. There is an Article 367 of the Indian Constitution which refers to interpretation. Now, this article says that if you have any problem, any concern with respect to any meaning of any word, please refer to a law called General Clauses Act of 1897. This law will give a clarification over what is the meaning of the word. For example, look at this. Look at this. Financial year would mean what? The year commencing on the first day of April. What is the meaning of government? Government refers to both central and state government. What's the meaning of immovable property? It means property that shall include land, benefits to arise out of land, things attached to the earth, or permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. So basically, this article contains around 70, 80, 100 words where you can look into this, not article, this law contains certain words. You can look into the meaning of these words and try to understand what is the meaning. It can help you in interpreting the constitution. Now, couple of more things for you to know firstly. One more point. If you have President's rule, we'll be discussing President's rule shortly. Hopefully tomorrow only, not today. If you have President's rule, please tell me. President's rule basically means center's rule. If you have President's rule, then government is not there. No state government. The governor is a boss. And there is no assembly also. It is not there. The parliament acts like the assembly. Okay? That is what happens in a president's rule. Anyway. Now let's see how the change was made. In 2019, month of August, Jammu and Kashmir was under president's rule. Yes or no? Everybody agrees on this? President's rule. Now what happened? The parliament made a change, or the government made a change. What was the change? The change was in definition. So what did they do? They said the Constituent Assembly for Jammu and Kashmir would mean the State Legislative Assembly. Now see, Legislative Assembly is a body whose task is to make laws, and Constituent Assembly is a body whose task is to create a constitution. But anyway, this definition was changed. Simple. Now, tell me, during president's rule, since there is no assembly, who acts as the assembly? Please tell me. We have a president's rule right now in Jammu and Kashmir. There is no assembly. Who is the assembly? Yes or no? Which means the parliament. During president's rule. And during president's rule, there is no government, so governor is the government. Governor gave the consent to impose all the articles of Indian Constitution on Jammu and Kashmir. And the parliament gave the recommendation to modify Article 370. Modification done. Simple. The modification was done. The constitution order was issued. All the provisions of the constitution now extend to Jammu and Kashmir, and it revokes, meaning removes, the powers of Article 370. Article exists, but the power is no longer there. So the article has been modified now. We have changed the definition and we have modified whose permission was required. Simple. So now Article 370 is this. This is what is currently Article 370. The article exists, it is applicable also, but the content has been modified because the parliament, which is acting as an assembly, because the meaning has been changed from constituent to state assembly, has given the recommendation. So what is the change? All provisions of this constitution, all the provisions of this constitution as amended from time to time without any modification or any exception shall apply to Jammu and Kashmir. Simple. Notwithstanding, in spite of any document, any judgment, any ordinance, any order, regulation, notification, any treaty, any agreement, we don't care what is mentioned anywhere. The entire Indian constitution is applicable on Jammu and Kashmir. If the entire Indian constitution is applicable, please tell me, is Article 3 also applicable? Yes or no? Is Article 3 applicable? Yes, it is. What is Article 3? What is Article 3? Reorganization, the power of the parliament to reorganize the country, altering the boundaries, reducing the area, names, etc. And using Article 3, Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act was passed. Jammu and Kashmir was reorganized into two UTs, Kargil and Leh, the districts comprised of Ladakh, and the remaining districts became Jammu and Kashmir. Simple. Now, in the case of both these UTs, you have the administrator, who is called an LG. Simple. And in the case of Ladakh, there is no assembly. But in the case of J&K, you will have an assembly with maximum 114 seats, out of which only 90 seats will have elections because 24 will remain vacant. Why will they remain vacant? Symbolic. These areas, 24 seats. One fine morning, when we'll capture this area, then we'll have elections in these areas, and 24 MLAs will come and sit in the assembly of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, for the first time, you also have reservation for SC/STs. That's also there. You have the LG who can nominate 2 women to the assembly. Very unique provision. It is not there in any other state or UT that LG can nominate 2 women members. And here also, the assembly can make laws on all the state list subjects except police and public order. Clear? Okay, done. So this is with respect to the UT of J&K. Now the High Court of J&K and Ladakh, the High Court has been renamed. High Court is now called the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It's a common High Court, and 106 different central laws which were not applicable in Jammu and Kashmir are now all applicable, including right to education, Indian Penal Code. In Jammu and Kashmir, they had a different penal code, which was called RPC, Ranbir Penal Code. It had the same provisions, almost same provisions, but still based on the King Ranbir Singh. So now it's all the same, like any other part of the country. You have changed the definition and you have changed the implication also. This matter is pending in the court, of course, as you know. And the court is, let's see what the court decides. What can decide now? It's too late. But this very interesting point, I'll ask you a simple question. What we have done is we have changed the definition. So tomorrow, can we change the definition and say the word prime minister in Article 74 and everywhere in the constitution shall mean Narendra Modi. Can we change this definition? Will that be okay? Why? Why not? Possible, right? If this can be done, that can also be done. Are you getting an idea of what is happening? If we are allowing the change of definitions, then anything and everything can be changed. Yes or no? So, not clear the point. This example is not clear. What to do? Nothing is clear. Ignore it then. Ignore it. Are we clear on this? So, when you change definitions of certain things, the inherent meaning should not change. In fact, this is the question in the court, that the Constituent Assembly is a body whose purpose is different. And when you change the meaning to a body whose purpose is different, this change of meaning has been questioned. And the ground is, we call this doctrine of colorable legislation. Let me explain. Don't panic. Doctrine of colorable legislation. What's the meaning of this? It simply means what cannot be done directly can also not be done indirectly. What can't be done directly cannot be done indirectly. I'll explain, don't worry. The contention is that you were told not to. The whole point, the argument is that the word Constituent Assembly was deliberately used here so that in future also no change should be affected here. Now you have changed the definition and you are doing something indirectly which was not allowed to be done directly. For example, if you message somebody, nice DP, etc., some nonsense, and say, I love you, the person then tells you, last warning, I should not receive a single phone call from this number ever again. Okay. Now what do? You go to the market, purchase a new SIM, and text again and say, see, hi, nice DP. This is new number. You said I should not receive a phone call from that number. No. The idea is, if you have been told to do not to do something, don't do it indirectly also. Simple. Are you clear? If you are told don't approach me, you cannot ask your friend, you go and approach. See, I am not approaching, my friend is approaching. That's not how it is. Some things which are not allowed to be done directly should not be done indirectly also. It is like if you are told don't eat, then you say, no, I am not eating, but somebody is feeding me in my mouth with a spoon. I am not eating. See, my hands are tied. But if somebody is putting food in my mouth, what to do? No, no, no. You are told not to eat, directly or indirectly. Did we understand this point? Doctrine of colorable legislation. So this is what is the contention in the court. Let's see what the court decides. We should not hold any opinion on sub judice matters to create any confusion. Let the court decide. Okay. And just to end, I'll take 2 more minutes. Just to end, we also had this Article 35 capital A, which was only meant for Jammu and Kashmir. The origin of this story is that back in the 1920s, the elites in Jammu and Kashmir, the Dogras, the Kashmiri Pandits, they were not really appreciative of these outsiders coming and settling in Jammu and Kashmir. So what they did was they forced the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir to make a law which was called State Subject Rule. This rule was basically that outsiders will not be allowed to purchase land and live in Jammu and Kashmir. In 1950s, this particular state subject rule was made in Article 35A and was meant for Jammu and Kashmir only. This is also no longer there, it's also gone, but what it said was Jammu and Kashmir legislature will define those people who are called permanent residents of the state. And if you are given the status of a permanent resident, then you will have some benefits. For example, full employment under the state government. You are only person authorized to acquire immovable property. You are the person who can reside in the state permanently, and every state government benefit, whether it is scholarship, etc., will be given only to you, will be meant only for you. This no longer exists, has also been repealed now. Now repealed. Are we clear? This is the story of Jammu and Kashmir. Puja, immovable property, the definition is mentioned here, mug up to your heart's content. A property which cannot be moved. Immovable property. Okay. Let's take a quick break now. After the break, we'll come back and discuss the Schedule 5. And understand a very simple concept. See, there are some parts of the country, and in your state, there could be small areas or districts, blocks, etc., where the tribal population is more than 50%. That area is called a scheduled area. And besides that, that area should also have a sense of socio-economic and educational backwardness in general. Clear? So think of this. Let's say this is a state, and in this state, there are some areas which have preponderance of tribal population, meaning more than 50% people in this area are scheduled tribes, and this area has socio-economic backwardness. Then that area becomes a scheduled area which is under Schedule 5. So preponderance of tribal population, more than 50% scheduled tribes. First point. Second, there should be a socio-economic backwardness as compared to the neighboring areas. There should be a marked disparity in the economic standards. The idea being that this is the underdeveloped nature. So the underdeveloped nature is what makes an area a scheduled area. It should be compact in size. It should be reasonable in size. You can't make the entire state as a scheduled area. It should be a smaller area. And it should be an administrative unit. You can't say those 5 houses, scheduled area. This colony, scheduled area. No, no, no. It should be a proper unit of administration. For example, it can be a district. It can be a block. It can be a group of villages also, right? Etc. So it should be a proper administrative unit. That's very important. Now we have scheduled 5 areas in 10 states. I would request you to know the names of all these 10 states. It's important. Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, MP, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Telangana. And who can declare an area to be a scheduled area? The president can declare any area to be a scheduled area, and that it ceases to be a scheduled area, and can also alter the boundaries of these areas. Are we clear? Khushbu, sir, I can't understand. What can you not understand? Tell me something at least. English can't be understood. Guys, are we clear on this so far? Is there some doubt? Ignore Northeast. Ignore Northeast for now. We'll deal with Northeast separately. And I'll tell you why separately. Northeast separately. Now, the idea being, in these 10 states, now I have mentioned the names of all the states. Now think of this. This is Rajasthan. Rajasthan. This entire area in red is declared to be a scheduled area. Now, not the entire area, but in this entire area, there will be certain districts under which there will be certain taluks or blocks which can be the scheduled area. So, Rajasthan, Banswara, Dungarpur, Udaipur, Siroi, etc. In Odisha, Mayurbhanj, Sundargarh, etc. In Maharashtra, Thane, Nasik. Then Gujarat, Surat, Bharuch. Then MP, Jhabua, Mandla. Then Himachal, Lahaul, Spiti districts. So if you belong to any of these states, please know examples of some places in your state which come under Schedule 5. Right? So okay. So we have Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, MP, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan. So of course, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are separate now. So it is here combined into one. So once some of these are under Telangana, some under Andhra Pradesh, that can be bifurcated. No problem. That should not be any concern for anyone. I don't want you to fight Andhra Telangana war. Don't bring it to the class. It's okay. It is just that this information that the ministry had was an older information. For example, if you look at Andhra Pradesh, you'll find that, or Telangana, you'll find that this Adilabad, Mehbooabad, Warangal is mentioned, Warangal district. So these areas may be there in Telangana, which are, yes, K. Mahesh and Vidya. Don't be upset. It's okay. Andhra Pradesh, let me write before somebody gets angry. I don't want a interstate war here. Okay. And also understand that we are trying to become all India service officers above state consciousness. Okay. National consciousness. So, scheduled areas in a large part of the state, in a large state, there could be smaller areas which are called scheduled areas. Why? Because of tribal population. In that area, more than half the people have to be tribals. That is the condition for it to be a scheduled area. And who will declare, who will call that area a scheduled area? The center. The president can declare any area to be a scheduled area, and that it is not a scheduled area, and the boundary has increased, boundary has decreased. All this will be done by the president. Okay. See, what's the idea? Why do you want to treat these areas differently? Because of their socio-economic backwardness, because of their social educational backwardness, and also that these areas require special efforts for development. Now, there are two reasons why we have scheduled 5 areas or 6 areas. Two very important reasons. And then some other reasons also. But primarily, Why do we have these areas? Reason number one, under these areas, you will ensure the protection of land rights of tribals. Protecting land rights of tribals. So to prevent land alienation. Number two, preserve and protect the tribal culture, the tribal custom. Then other things like ensuring good governance in these areas, right? Ensuring that there is economic empowerment, there is social, political, economic justice. Okay, so these are the reasons. Now we'll see the provisions. I'll keep on explaining to you the importance of all these things. So in scheduled area, center can give binding direction to state with respect to the administration of the area. And governors of these states having a scheduled area have to present annually a report on how the area is functioning, how the administration is happening in those areas. And also, the governor is authorized to direct that any law of the parliament or the state assembly may or may not apply also in a scheduled area. So in a scheduled area, the laws made by the parliament or the states may not apply, or if it applies with modifications. Now, governor can also make regulation with respect to business of money lending, allotment of land, their transfer, etc. Meaning, to cut a long story short, I just mentioned a point here. The land rights of tribals. What's the meaning of land rights? The ownership of land. Simple. In a scheduled area, outsiders, non-tribals can't purchase land. Simple. Done. Are you clear now? In a scheduled area, outsiders and non-tribals can't purchase land. Clear? Everyone, please don't purchase land. It is a punishable offense in most cases. For example, a few years back, not a few years back, around 10 years back, or even more, 14, 15 years back, there was a case in and around this capital city of capital of Jharkhand, Ranchi, the capital city, where on the outskirts of Ranchi, some tribals were given land by the government, a scheduled area, and these tribals had no jobs. So these non-tribals, they gave them money and purchased the land. Now this matter went to the Jharkhand High Court. The High Court not only asked the tribals to return, so the non-tribals to return the land. Now, also, it told the tribals, if you have not spent the money, return it back. If you have spent it, done, money is gone. And number three, it also imposed a fine on the people who had purchased the land. So the people who purchased the land, money gone, land gone, extra fine also. So please don't purchase land in Schedule 5 areas. You are not allowed to. Simple. Clear? Now, money lending. In Schedule 5 areas, money lending as an individual activity is not allowed. If the tribals want money, they have to approach a financial institution like bank, etc. Individuals, they may make a fool of these tribals. These tribals are largely considered to be people who have a slightly educationally backward way of life. They may not be as advanced So some non-tribal outsider can trap them in a debt, right? So to avoid all that, money lending can be curbed here, and the tribals will have to, if they want money, approach the what? Approach the uh, banks or other such financial institutions only. Clear? Now, whenever these regulations are made by the governor, they require center's approval to come into force. So look at the governor's special powers under Schedule 5 areas. They can make regulations also for money lending, etc. And one more thing, in all these states which have scheduled areas, the state has to create a body called TAC. What is TAC? Tribal Advisory Council. And not just this, if your state does not have a scheduled area but has a tribal population, that's also possible. See, what is a Schedule 5 area? An area where more than half the people are tribals. But it may happen that in your state, think of this as your state, in your state, there are tribals everywhere, but scattered in various places. They are not concentrated in one area. So you may have a high tribal population, but despite that, they may not be living in one area only. So you may not meet the criteria of a scheduled area. In those states also, TAC must be established. And also in states having a scheduled tribe but not scheduled areas. Examples of such states are, what are the examples of these states? Examples are West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Uttarakhand. Hello? Am I audible, guys? Oh, okay. So as I was saying, in these three states, we have these tribals, but we don't have a specific scheduled area. Despite that, we need to have a TAC, Tribal Advisory Council. Clear? Okay. This is there with respect to the scheduled area status. Now, the Tribal Advisory Council will comprise of 20 members. 3/4 of them are representatives of scheduled tribes. Who are these people? Any idea? Tell me. Who is a representative of scheduled tribes? Very good. Some of you are absolutely correct. Anurag, Samriddhi, etc. Very good. Representatives of scheduled tribes are scheduled tribe MLAs. Who are the people's representatives? What are you saying? Forest dweller, etc. MLAs. Okay. Don't we have reservation for scheduled tribes? Yes or no? We do, right? We have reservation for scheduled tribes in the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Yes or no? Guys, please write fast. Don't waste time. Okay. Yes, right? Excellent. Very good. I think there should be some amount of, oh, not in Lok Sabha only. It is not in Rajya Sabha, only in the Lok Sabha. How will we survive the onslaught of this very devilish world outside, the UPSC, which will ask difficult questions? Anyway, so TAC has to be formed in these states. Now, how will the TAC function, etc.? That the governor makes rules. Okay, governor will make the rules. That is of no concern to us. But this TAC's task is very simple: advising the government on the welfare and advancement of scheduled tribes. That's their function. Advice on welfare and advancement of scheduled tribes. And let me tell you, when the governor makes regulations on money lending and property rights, these regulations have to be done in consultation with the TAC. Consultation with Tribal Advisory Council. That's it. Don't think that there are some amazing bodies which have lawmaking power. Nothing, nothing. They just advise. It's just an advisory body. As the name suggests, tribal advisory councils. That's it. Are we clear? There is nothing else now on this. But a very, very important point now. When we were discussing the panchayats, if you remember, and some difficult time right now, because I'll be asking some questions which may make you feel sad also. Article 243M. When it comes to Article 243M, panchayat provisions are not applicable in certain areas, like Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. Do you remember? Now, please tell me, in Schedule 5 or Schedule 6, if you want to extend the panchayats, what's the procedure? Who can do it? Don't give me name of law. Tell me the procedure. Two or three correct answers before you further embarrass yourself. Parliament by law. Writing all nonsense. Parliament by law can extend the panchayat provisions in Schedule 5 areas, Schedule 6 areas. It has been done already by the Parliament in 1996 only. We call this PESA. Panchayats Extension to Scheduled Areas Act. PESA. Okay. Now one more thing. The question is not over. To extend the panchayat provisions in Nagaland, for example, what can be done? How can it be extended? Tell me. If you want to extend panchayat provisions in Nagaland, then how will it be done? Zero correct answer so far. Pooja, rectify the statement. In a state like Nagaland, it will be done by state legislature by a special majority. Okay? State legislature by a special majority has to do it. These were all information mentioned in the slides. Are we clear? And you are writing unique statement. Somebody is saying can't be done only. Somebody is saying no need for extension. It's causing a heartbreak after so many classes and going so damn slow. This is the slowest I've ever gone in any batch and tried to answer as many questions as possible. Still, this is a revision. What is happening, guys? How will we clear the UPSC exam if this is the situation? Revise, revise. It feels as if I am every day coming and scolding you only. Don't disappoint me, but don't disappoint yourself at least. Be serious for the preparation. Anyway, enough of GAN. No need to waste time. So, panchayat provisions were extended to the scheduled areas. And of course, certain modifications were made. Now we have said that, see, the tribal area, small areas, distinct culture. The fear will always be that this very small culture, followed by a few people, can be subsumed by the larger culture of the people of the country. So, to protect their culture, what we want is to provide them some kind of self rule and ensuring participatory democracy. Okay, we thought that panchayat provisions are very nice actually. So, why not give the benefit of panchayat provisions to the scheduled areas also, to ensure that they are protected from marginalization, right? So special focus will be on the social, the political, the cultural, the economic aspects of tribal life. Now, what are the objectives? Number one, we have to evolve a suitable framework, but we have to ensure that it is consistent with the traditional practices. Mind you, we have to safeguard and preserve their traditions and customs. We cannot compromise with the traditions and customs of the tribal communities. Clear? Then, to empower the panchayats at appropriate level. What is an appropriate level of panchayat? Tell me. Gram panchayat, intermediate panchayat, district panchayat. Do you remember all these things? Gram panchayat, district panchayat, zila parishad, gram sabha. Long time ago, some things like this were taught at some point of time. Anyway, with specific powers. Now, what's the provision? Point number one. In panchayats, reservation for scheduled tribes is there based on population. So here also reservation amongst members. Amongst members up to 50%. Half the seats reserved for tribals. And number two, all the chairpersons at all the levels have to belong to scheduled tribe community. So in a scheduled 5 area, the sarpanch, the mukhya, the pradhan has to be a scheduled tribe. The block chairperson must be a scheduled tribe person. The Zilla Parishad, the district panchayat chairperson must be a scheduled tribe person only. Clear? And Gram Sabha has been given certain special powers. What kind of special powers? Ownership of minor forest produce, not the major ones, minor forest produce. What's an example of a minor forest produce? Bamboo shoot, dry bark of trees, wild mushrooms, etc. Right? Tree moss, all these things only. So these are what is referred to as the minor forest produce, not the major ones, the minor ones. Then enforcement of liquor prohibition, meaning the Gram Sabha can make laws and can ensure that in your area no liquor drinking, no enjoyment of life, I mean no liquor drinking. Clear? That can also be done by the Gram Sabha. Then control over local plans and resources. For example, water bodies. So these local plans and resources, again, Gram Sabha can exercise control. Then prevention of land alienation, meaning, I think we've explained this earlier only, that land alienation means selling land to non-tribals, transferring land to non-tribals. That will not be allowed. In a Scheduled 5 area, you cannot purchase land as a non-tribal and an outsider. Extremely sorry for that. If anybody has the money and is interested in purchasing land, please purchase land somewhere else. Okay, then control over money lending also. Then things like managing the village markets, matters of land acquisition, resettlement, all such things are the special powers of Gram Sabha. Then, state Panchayat Acts have to be modified, keeping in mind the customary laws and the social and the religious practices of tribals. So, the state Panchayat Acts have to be modified accordingly to incorporate all these tribal customs and practices, because ultimately we are treating these areas differently because of the distinct culture and custom of these tribal communities, which requires protection also. Then, Gram Sabha or Panchayat at appropriate level, meaning either Gram Sabha or the Gram Panchayat or the Block Panchayat or the District Panchayat shall approve plans and programs for socio-economic development and also identifying beneficiaries. So when a government wants to implement a new scheme or a program, they can ask the Gram Sabha, and they must ask the Gram Sabha or the Gram Panchayat or the IP or the DP to approve those plans before they can be implemented. And not just that, identification of beneficiaries also. And then, with respect to mining projects, any and every mining project, whether it is public or private, does not matter. All these mining projects, before they are launched, you have to mandatorily get a Gram Sabha meeting and get the approval of the Gram Sabha after a proper hearing. Meaning, Gram Sabha meeting. Gram Sabha meeting is required, and only after the Gram Sabha approves can you launch a mining project in that area. You have to tell all the people what can be the consequence of land acquisition, what will be the environmental impact, how are you going to resettle those villagers whose land is going to be taken away, all these things. Now, currently, all these 10 states have incorporated the PESA provisions in their Panchayat Acts. Rajasthan was the last state in 1999. It has done it. Every state has done it. But to implement laws properly, rules need to be made. So, not all the states have made rules. 8 states have made rules. Jharkhand and Odisha are yet to make the rules. And of these 8 states also, state like MP and Chhattisgarh, these two states made rules last year only. That means in 2022. So imagine, for the last 20 years, laws are there, but rules are not there to implement PESA properly. So what is happening? Anyway, now we'll come to the problems with PESA. So first things first, of course, we are looking at PESA with respect to the issues. See, PESA seems to largely be a harbinger of hope and promise for the tribals, making them masters of their own destiny. But in reality, it is full of problems. Point number one. Firstly, lack of exposure amongst the members with respect to PESA. Most of the members who are there under these panchayats, they don't have the knowledge of hows and whys of implementation of their rules regulations. Secondly, law is loosely worded, meaning vague. Example, look at the provision. Panchayat at appropriate level. What's the meaning of this? So if I have to implement a scheme or a program, I need to get the approval of panchayat at appropriate level. Imagine the central government tries to implement a scheme or a program. Okay. Do you think the central government will take the permission of Gram Sabha? Of course not. The central government already has a person in the local governance who they will take help of. Who is that person? That person is you, an IAS officer. So what will the center do? It will call you, the DC. Do you want promotion? Do you want posting? Daily posting. You will say, yes, yes, sir. What to do? Who to kill? Please tell me. And then The government says this is a scheme, implement it. And then you'll call the Zilla Parishad, tell them, come on, I have sent a document, approve it. And when you call the Zilla Parishad members, on their phone it shows God calling. DM is the God, right, for them. So of course, they will do whatever the boss says. After all, you control all the funds, you control all the plans, so they have to. So in most cases, don't think that the center or the states get the approval of Gram Sabha. That's a tedious task. Getting the approval through the DC, the collector, is way easier. And that is what is done. Because the law says so. Law does not say only Gram Sabha can approve. No, Gram Sabha or Panchayat at appropriate level. Then, forest department's excessive control over forest resources. So what has happened is that even though the PESA allows the tribals to collect the minor forest produce, most of the states have not modified their forest laws, and the forest officials constantly come into conflict with the tribals, and tribals are not allowed to even collect minor forest produce, right? So this tribal and the forest officials conflict keeps on happening. I think if you have seen this movie Kantara, a very good example of how this conflict plays its role, right? Then high levels of illiteracy. Of course, we are talking about an area where which is largely comprising of socially, educationally, economically backward regions. So literacy levels are very low, of course. Then codification of customs not done yet. Most states have not codified, made laws out of the personal rituals, practices, customs of these tribals. So those laws are yet to, or those customs are yet to be incorporated in the personal laws. That's also a challenge. Then, poor capacity building. What is capacity building? Do you remember? Capacity building? Training. Very good. So, poor training of the functionaries. Now, one more thing. Look at this statement. I mentioned a statement that if you want to launch any mining project of sorts, a Gram Sabha meeting is mandatory, blah, 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 all that nonsense. Nothing happens. It's just on paper. Gram Sabha or public hearing with respect to environment and land acquisition is only on paper. Same old story. The DC is told, get the approval of Gram Sabha. The DC will call the village sarpanch. Village sarpanch is shivering. DC has called him. What happened? DC says, come on your register, get a meeting, minutes of meeting, sign of 50 people, and say that the Gram Sabha has approved the project. Done. Photocopy is sent to the center. All records are maintained, perfectly aligned. And Gram Sabha members have no idea what they have signed, what they have approved. They came to drink free tea, they got the free tea and signed. Done. This is how approvals are being taken. Then, one more thing. This PESA is basically, see, a scheduled area can be both urban and tribal, rural. Can be both urban as well as rural. Yes or no? Both. For rural areas, we have made something called PESA. Yes. PESA, full form of PESA, it's okay. Panchayat extension to scheduled areas. But for urban areas, do we have a MESA? Municipalities extension to scheduled areas? No, there is no MESA. So if I want to escape my responsibility, because with PESA, the problem is that now I have to fulfill all these obligations, make rules, incorporate the tribal customs, culture, right? Conducting Gram Sabha meetings, public hearings, all that drama is there. But if I want to escape the drama, what do? I'll simply categorize the rural area as an urban area. Nagar Panchayat, do you remember? Nagar Panchayat is a reference to transitional areas. They are a part of municipalities only. Once I categorize an area as an urban area, I have no obligation towards the area. I need not prepare separate reports. I need not focus on the administration. Center cannot control the area. It comes under my control completely. That's what is being done. And lastly, so you must have heard in your or read in your monthly magazines that this minister has gone to some foreign country, has signed 17 MOUs, 20 MOUs. What is this MOU? Memorandum of Understanding. You go to a foreign country and you tell the foreign country, the businessman there, come to my country, invest money. It's all set. And then you come back and you call the DC, collector, get the approval. I have brought funds, money is coming. Now, logically, what should happen is you should firstly get the approval from the panchayat, etc., of land. Acquire the land, go to a foreign country, convince them, and then bring them here. But it's the exact opposite. The government machinery is used to enforce MOUs. You go to the foreign country, sign these MOUs, come back. Now you ask the local official there, come on, get the approval. Use your stick and get the approval. And that is why what happens is when such cases come up, when a project is launched, tribals are caught unaware completely. They go to the court, file a case, Supreme Court interferes, says, stop, stay order, and the project is stalled. Had the government taken the effort to approach tribals and these areas before bringing in money, they would have escaped from this embarrassment. And that's why we say that government and tribals want PESA, PESA, but government wants PESA, money only. That's what they want. And because the government has become MOU Wadi, relying excessively on memorandum of understanding, which is forcing the tribals to become Maowadi. And as we say, this battle that is there of Jal, Jungle, and Zameen, the tribals are losing this battle on a daily basis. This is the harsh reality of our Schedule 5 areas. Are we clear on this, everyone? Any doubt, any confusion? Pooja, last point, I explained it so beautifully, giving all these contexts of paisa, pesa and all. Life is difficult for some of our innocent people here. Anyway, let me explain this once again. The idea is that we have to get the approvals first, say land acquisition first, get all the approvals from the Gram Sabha first, and then go to the foreign country and ask them, bring your money. We go to a foreign country first, ask them to bring money, and then we come back and now the money is coming. So we have to pressurize the Gram Sabha into giving us land. And that pressure can come, can manifest into various forms. Can also be through the show of force, right? Okay. See, somebody who does not know what is Maowadi or Maoism, better discuss this topic in your IS classes, internal security classes. There the faculty will tell you in detail. So harass that faculty, not me, please. Who wants to escape PESA? So state government, who can notify an area to be a urban or rural area? Governor, state government. Are we clear, everyone, now? Any more innocent doubts? Priyadarshini, what is Jal, Jungle, Zameen? Oh, okay. These are Hindi words basically. Jal means water, Jungle means forest, and Zameen means land. Okay. Gaurav, Why culture of only tribes need to be protected? Why small group scattered across the country? So there is a possibility that the larger culture of this nation and of different people may overpower these tribal culture and custom. So we have given special protection to these people. That's why. Okay, no problem. So your culture also requires protection. We have sufficient provisions. So majority need not be afraid. It's the minority who should be afraid, right? And that's the real concern in our country right now. In our country, somehow we've all been convinced that the majority has to be afraid. It's hilarious, isn't it? That we are now being convinced that the majority is under threat. Lala, what is MOU Wadi and all? But this is not a part of syllabus, guys. This is not a part of. Don't ignore this. Ignore. It was just a play of words. Ignore it. Pesa, pesa. Ignore all that. Don't take it seriously. Oh, difficult to give analogy also sometimes. Anyway, now let's move on to come under three different states. Now these four areas were controlled by the French. So they have a different culture or custom. Now the problem is that you have not been to these areas, so don't know. That's a sad state of affairs for us. That we think that the world we see around us is the world. How can somebody have a different culture? That's wrong. Kill them. That's the agenda. That should not be the case. So these people have a different culture, right? And the point is that when it comes to a different culture, if you let them be a part of the larger state, say Tamil Nadu, they may very easily, their distinct culture may easily be lost in the larger culture of Tamil Nadu or say Andhra Pradesh or say Kerala. That is the concern. That is why these four areas are comprised of or come collectively under Pondicherry. Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. Let's move on now. Yashi, it has been bifurcated. Also tribal areas, but tribal areas in some other parts of the country, the northeastern part of the country. Now some of you may say, sir, but why did we not have them under Schedule 5 only? Make 14 states there. Because the Schedule 6 areas or the tribal areas in northeast have different provisions, and also the issue here is not just preserving the customs, or rather the issue is not just distinct culture or ethnicity, but also insurgency. And secondly, please do not try to equate them, insurgency or separatism. Please do not try to equate the tribals of northeast with the tribals of other areas. Clear? The tribals of other areas in the country, say you go to various parts, they may be socially educationally backward, but the tribals of northeast are extremely literate people, highly literate. Look at how they dress and all, full of style, western style, high fashion sense. They are not people who you can think are backward in any sense. Are we clear? They're extremely educated people. So their problems are different compared to the other tribals. Their problems are not just about ethnicity. Their problems are also largely to amalgamate them into the country, larger fold of India. Are we clear? They are educated people, unlike the tribals in other parts where the literacy rates are very high, very low. Clear? Okay. So this is there. Means, Vinodini, what is the concern? Ishita, we cannot always measure. I know where you're coming from, but we cannot always measure something through just the point of political power. There are a lot of tribes which are highly matrilineal in nature, right? There are a lot of matriarchies also which exist. That's there. Anyway, Schedule 6 also has the exact same thing. The idea is to preserve and protect the culture, protecting the land rights. Everything is exactly the same. Now, what are Schedule 6 areas? In 4 northeastern states of uh, this is Assam, of Meghalaya, of Tripura, and of Mizoram. In these 4 northeastern states, there are certain districts or certain areas which are called autonomous districts. Like this area, autonomous district, this area, autonomous district, this area, autonomous district. So Bodoland, Karbi Anglong, Dima Hasao are in Assam, and Chakma, Lai, and Mara is in Mizoram. Then Garo, Khasi, Jaintia in Meghalaya, and this area in Tripura. These are districts which are called autonomous districts. Clear? Now, in these autonomous districts, what we have is the creation of a body called Autonomous District Council, or also called District Council. So, we will, number one, identify autonomous districts and create autonomous district councils in these areas, and also regional councils can be created in these areas. That is why this DC or ADC comprises of 30 members. So every such area has an ADC. Chakma ADC, Lai ADC, Mara ADC, Tripura Autonomous Area DC, Garo Hills ADC, Khasi Hills ADC, Jaintia Hills ADC. Are we clear? Everybody, look at the names. Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council, Jaintia Hills Autonomous District Council, Garo Hills Autonomous District Council. So we have 10 such ADCs. Did we understand so far? Everyone? Dhanya, is Schedule 6 areas has more literacy rate? Schedule 6 areas have way more literacy rate than Schedule 5 areas. It's beyond comparison. Okay? Some of these northeastern states have literacy rates as high as 80+%, 88%, 90%. So there is no comparison. Okay. So these district councils will have 30 people. Of these 30 people, sir, doesn't insurgency affect literacy? No, it's the other way around. Literacy affects insurgency, right? The more knowledgeable you are, the more chances of you trying to be autonomous. Anyway, now this ADC, what is this ADC? ADC is the body which governs this area. ADC is the body. For every area, they have a separate ADC. And this ADC consists of 30 people. Out of these 30 people, 4 are nominated and 26 are elected. Now, what is the election procedure? The governor makes rules for that. So that is of no concern to us. Okay. Now, there is a small exception, just to point this out. All the ADCs, DC and ADC are the same thing. In the constitution, it is written as DC, but commonly it is called an ADC, Autonomous District Council. The only exception is Bodoland. The Bodoland DC, which is also called the Bodoland Territorial Council, it has 46 members. So out of these 46 members, again, 40 are elected, 6 are nominated, of which 2 are women. Of the 40 elected, 30 are tribals, 5 are non-tribals, 5 are from the open category. That's of no concern to us. Just remember, ADC has 30 people who are elected locally by the people there. What is the procedure? The governor makes rules, and all ADCs have 30 people except Bodoland. Bodoland DC, which is also called the Bodoland Territorial Council, has 46 members. Now, laws made by DCs or regional councils require governor's consent. Clear? Governor's consent. Meaning what? Laws made by DCs. DCs can make laws also. And you will be surprised that DCs have power to make laws. They can implement laws, they have financial powers, and they also have judicial powers. Schedule 6 areas are extremely autonomous. They have their own local body to make laws, to implement laws, financial powers, and separate court system also. That is the level of autonomy we are talking about in these areas. Now, over matters on which ADC can make laws, state laws will not be extended unless the ADC allows. This is the level of autonomy being given to ADC. Clear? Now, what are the law-making powers of ADCs? Point number 1. ADCs make laws with respect to allotment, occupation, and use of land, right? Basically, the same old story, right? That land cannot be purchased in these areas by outsiders. It is not allowed only. So, one more thing, I hope there is no misconception here. Just because I'm constantly saying that outsiders can't purchase land, don't have a feeling that the government cannot take over your land. Government can capture your land. Take over your land, acquire land. For a public purpose, government of India, government of state has full authority to take over your land for a public purpose, say building a railway track or a bridge, etc. So you can't claim any kind of protection there that no, Schedule 6 mentions that. To hell with all that. Governments have full right to acquire your land. Clear? Management of forests. ADCs can make laws except forest reserve. Forest reserve under forest department. Of course. Then use of canals, water courses, etc. Water bodies. Regulation of the practice of shifting cultivation. Zoom. They can make laws on these things. Establishment of village and town committees. Then matters relating to village and town administration. ADCs can make laws on topics like health, on topics like sanitation, on topic like police. Then appointment and succession of chief and headmen of tribes. So these tribal people have their own way of life and culture, which also includes the point that they have their headmen, etc. So how to appoint the headmen, etc. All that is left for the tribes. The ADCs can make laws to incorporate the local culture and custom of these tribes. And all aspects of personal laws. What are personal laws? Marriage, divorce, inheritance, succession, etc. Personal laws. ADCs make laws on their own personal matters. Are we clear? Then executive powers, power to implement the laws, that's also there with them. Establishing, constructing, and managing primary schools, dispensaries, markets, road and water transport, management of agriculture, animal husbandry, community projects, social welfare, village planning, cooperative societies, all such things. Managing cattle ponds, managing fisheries, running of ferries, running of bus services, all these things. Then they have their own judicial system also. So in the these district councils or autonomous districts, they have their separate court system. So you have at the lowest level a court called village council. If you are not happy with the judgment of village council, please approach the district council. And then you can approach the, of course, high court. This is the two-tier court system. But a small point here, these courts are only meant for scheduled tribes, ST disputes only. Non-tribal cannot go here. There'll be biasness against him or her. So only scheduled tribe disputes. That is why. Then financial powers. What kind of financial powers do the scheduled 6 areas or ADCs have? Power to impose taxes, right? Levy, impose, and collect taxes. For example, land revenue, tax on animals, tax on vehicles, tax on entertainment, tax on amusement parks, etc. Garima DC, where have you been, Garima? Just waking up. It's too late. The class is almost over. Full form of DC, District Council, RC, Regional Council. Oh, now, do we know that there is something called CFI for center? Yes or no? CFI. Similarly, we have a CFS for states. And similarly, the state legislature can also create a fund for the panchayats and municipalities. Just like that, there is also the creation of district fund and regional fund, where the money that is sent to these ADCs, these RCs can be kept. District councils fund, district fund. Okay. Now the applicability of the laws. So when the laws are made by the center or state, does not matter. Center or state makes a law. In Assam, the governor has the right to make modifications in the application of law. Plus modification in application. So for Assam, governor has a power to modify that the law made by parliament or state assembly will not apply or will apply differently. In Meghalaya, the president has the power. In Tripura and Mizoram, the governor has the power for state laws and the president has the power for central laws. Clear? Yeah, one more thing. Rajeshri, sir, in schedule 5 areas, whose power is more, assembly or DC? Is this question correct? In schedule 5 area, whose power is more, assembly or DC? Rajshi, did you want to write schedule 5 or schedule 6? Because in schedule 5, there is no DC only. In schedule 6 area, DC has more power. Okay, but let me tell you, don't become very excited and happy. Funds come from state government and center only. Okay, you may have all the power on the planet, but if you don't have money, then what will you do? You are dependent on the center and states for funds. And every law that you make or the states make, you will have to apply the laws in your area. So we saw this point here that over matters on which ADCs can make laws, state laws will not extend unless the ADC allows. Now, if I control the funds and I have made a law and I tell you, apply this law in your area, will you not do it? Of course you will do it, because you want money. Money is the controlling power everywhere. It's all about money. Just one point, last point for today. See, if at any point of time DC makes a law and that law endangers the country's safety or that law hampers public order, the governor can cancel the law. Governor can cancel laws made by ADC if it endangers. Let's write endangers, don't write hamper. If it endangers safety of India, and number 2, if it hampers the public order, if it is prejudicial to public order. That's it. Let's end our discussion here only today. Tomorrow we'll discuss just 5-10 minutes on issues, very simple and easy to understand, and then we'll move on to understanding the emergencies in the Indian Constitution. Once that is done, a small topic, we'll discuss the center-state relations with federalism, and we'll be done. Saturday we have a class 6:30 to 11:30, and Sunday we have a class 10 to 8. Okay, announcement done, time finalized. So please don't skip. Don't worry. The longer class will not, I will not let you be bored. This is an assurance from my side. You will have full enjoyment in the fundamental rights classes. This is all AM. This is 10 AM to 8 PM. Okay. Yes, 10 AM to 8 PM. Shashank, constitutional bodies. We have studied Election Commission of India. We have studied Attorney General, Advocate General. We'll be studying about NCSC, NCST, NCBC under fundamental rights. CAG will be studying in your governance classes. Statutory bodies, Shashank or Rohit, for statutory bodies, governance classes. I discussed it on the very first day that CBI, Lokpal, Lokayukt, CIC, CVC, NHRC, NCM, NCW, All these will be covered in your governance classes. Clear? Puja, it was done simply Pooja. Puja. It was done simply as and when the states kept on getting formed. Nothing else there. Tomorrow there is a class. Who is saying holiday?